Ayo, what's going on everyone? Nathan here. So a brand new pair of active noise canceling headphones was just released and there's a lot of hype behind them. I know you already know what they are because you clicked on this video, but I just picked up myself the new Sony WH-1000XM6. These are Sony's new top-of-the-line premium noise-canceling headphones, and they have addressed some major problems from their predecessor, the M5s. This video is going to be a quick overview of all the features with the new M6s, as well as my very first listen and impressions of how these sound. So enough yapping, let's get right into the unboxing. The unboxing experience is very minimal and not a whole lot to it. Taking off the sleeve and opening up the box, you'll find a newly designed carrying case, and attached to the carrying sleeve is a packet which contains the user manual and guide. Opening up the travel case, you'll find the headphones themselves, and tucked inside of this mesh sleeve pocket is a 3.5mm headphone cable and a USB-C to USB-A cable, and that's pretty much it. Starting off with the traveling case you get these headphones, this is their newly designed compact carrying case. This is made from this soft but firm fabric material, but I could not find out exactly what it is on their website. It does seem protective and that it would hold up very well like in a bag or something like that, so that's definitely good to see. So at the top of the case, you'll find a carrying strap that's very minimally branded with Sony right there, and this is actually the only branding on the entire case. And then to the right here, this is actually the biggest upgrade to this case, I think, and that's this new magnetic clasp right here, and it's just super quick and easy, and I just love it versus any other like traditional zipper. I hope a lot more different headphone manufacturers start to incorporate this magnetic clasp right here. I absolutely love it. But opening up the case, you can see the headphones sitting there super snug, and there's actually like this pre-molded spot where your headphones can sit on it. And it's also labeled right and left so you can easily find out where your headphones need to be sitting inside of this case. And then right here is this little mesh pocket, like I said in the unboxing. And here is just a quick little place where you can store some of the cables that come with it, maybe some kind of like airplane adapter as well to hook up to like the TVs. And overall, this case just fits everything perfect. So these are definitely great travel headphones, especially like on an airplane. So moving over to the headphones themselves, starting off with the different color options you can get with this. You can either go with a black, a midnight blue, or the one that I went with is their premium silver colorway. It's like this matte finish, sort of muted kind of gray look, almost white, especially out in the sunlight, but just right here, like on this table, it's definitely very gray compared to the tabletop itself, which is pure white. These headphones are made from a post-consumer recycled waste, and they definitely feel plasticky, but that's not necessarily a bad thing because they're super light at just 254 grams. So they definitely don't give off that same premium feel as like you'll find on the AirPods Max, which are made out of aluminum. So again, I think that this lightweight and the plastic material will be great for long uses, like on a long flight, which is what I think that they're definitely designed for. So moving over to the headband right here, this now has an asymmetrical design, which will hopefully better disperse some of that weight on top of your head. And this is also made out of a synthetic leather material with not too much padding or plush, as you can see here as I'm squeezing it. There is a little bit of give, but it's definitely not a lot. Hopefully that light weight of these headphones plays a part in here and you don't feel some pressure on top of your head while using them. And this also has a stepless sliding mechanism, so you can basically get the perfect fit for these no matter what size your head is. And one massive upgrade over the M5s is that these ear cups are now way more rotatable than what they were previously. So these can go 90 degrees backwards and about 45 degrees forwards, but now you can basically wear these around your neck and they can sit more comfortable there than what they could have with the M5s. And this should also help with fitting more people's heads. And one last notable upgrade to the build of these that the M5s were lacking is that now the ear cups can also be rotated inward, and this just helps overall decrease the size of this and allows for the case to be smaller. You can do it with both the right and left ear cup, so definitely a nice feature to have with the M6s. And then all of your physical buttons can be found on the left ear cup. Here you can see you have your noise canceling and your ambient/transparency sound button right here. here. Then you have your power button right here and your 3.5mm jack right there. And then on the right ear cup, this is where you're gonna have your touch panel right here on the flat part. And this is what's gonna allow you to either raise, lower the volume, play, pause your music, skip a track. So the controls on this are very straightforward and easy. I like how they kept it all on separate ear cups, even though I would have liked to have seen the touch panel on both of them, as sometimes you might have something in one hand where you can only raise or lower the volume, pause it with one hand versus the other. But they do have some other smart features in these that allow you to compensate for that. But overall, the layout on these are very simple and very easy to find. So moving over to the noise canceling feature on these now have the HD noise canceling processor QN3. These now have 12 microphones around the headphones for better real-time noise canceling, sound quality, and also call quality. So I've already heard a lot of hype behind these, that these are the new noise canceling king headphones, and I'm gonna have to do a lot of testing with that before I give my full thoughts on them. So as for their transparency mode, or what Sony calls their ambient mode, these now have a noise canceling optimizer which automatically adjusts to external noises and air pressure. And I've also heard that these headphones give the AirPods Max a run for their money, and everyone knows that Apple has been like the king of transparency modes for quite some time now. So it is very exciting to see another brand kind of punch up to the Apple headphone game in terms of transparency mode. So again, that's gonna have to be something I'm gonna have to try out and let you know in my full review. These support a number of high resolution audio types such as LDAC and LC3, and these have brand new custom 30mm drivers with lightweight carbon fiber domes that's supposed to help keep high frequencies crisp and clear. The battery life on these is up to 30 hours of playback, but their spec sheet does say 30 hours with noise cancellation on and 40 hours with it turned off. So I'm glad that they promote the 30 hours, which is including the noise canceling, which is what I think most people will be using these with. So 30 hours with a pair of headphones for noise canceling is pretty good in today's standard. There's also 6 microphones on these headphones, which are dedicated to audio, which will isolate your voice, filter out noise background, and also reduce wind sounds for clearer calls. These headphones can also detect when you're speaking, and it will actually pause your music and then seamlessly play it back up when you're done speaking. Very similar to Apple's, which will actually not pause it, it'll just lower it to a volume where you can barely hear it, but allows you to have a conversation. But very similar to that, and I love having that feature as well. And then lastly, these have Bluetooth 5.3, which is definitely outdated, and I would have loved to have seen a more recent version of Bluetooth, especially for the price that they're asking for these. But overall, I can't really see me having too many issues with the Bluetooth. But now I'm gonna put these on, listen to my first 3 songs. I'm gonna go with 3 different genres for this, and then I'll give you my initial impressions of what these sound like. So let's get into it. So just after the first listen with these, I can definitely tell that these are not going to excel in terms of sound quality and clarity. I think that these are probably just gonna be a great overall pair of headphones, especially for travel with the ambient and noise canceling sounds of this. There isn't really too much more to say about that. Let's get into the second song right now, and I have one already lined up. After that second song, I do want to specify something I said on my first song listen. I do think that these are very clear and crisp with the higher frequencies. That song had a lot of high frequencies with them singing in a very light background. I think where this is probably going to lack is that mid-tone range and also lower end. Not necessarily punchiness with that lower end. I think the next I'm gonna put on, I'm gonna actually have one that will emphasize the bass, see how it does with that. The highs are very clear and crisp, which I love to see. I'm just worried that the mid sounds and the lower end might get muffled in with that. All right, so the third song right here, I'm actually going EDM because this song has just a lot of different things going on with it. I want to see how these headphones hold up. So let's get into the third song. So that song definitely had a lot of bass, and what I was kind of worried about there, it seemed like the bass and the mids kind of just mushed together in that song, and there also just wasn't a lot of punch. You could definitely like hear the bass, but it just wasn't like hitting. It kind of just like stayed there in the background, rumbled kind of low in that song. So just after my first impressions, these do sound good, don't get me wrong. I'm just being super nitpicky, and just for a pair of headphones that cost this much, more than my audiophile headphones, and I know that you're paying for the noise canceling with these and just everything you get as a whole package, the sound quality, just not super impressed with off the rip. So I'm gonna have to do a lot more comparing. I'm gonna compare these to my daily headphones, which are the AirPods Pro 2, and I know that those are just completely different. Those are in-ear headphones, but those are just the ones that I know the most. Those are my go-to daily headphones for gym, at work, just hanging around. Those are my go-tos. And then also in terms of sound quality, I'm gonna compare them to my Aune AR5000, which are my video editing and also my audiophile headphones that when I'm sitting down at my desk and I just wanna really enjoy music, those are the headphones that I put on. So I know it's neither of those, but I think that those are just two different ballparks to compare these two to see how they hold up, especially at that super premium price point. So again, in a couple weeks, I'm gonna be posting my full review of these headphones and also if I'm gonna be keeping them. And if that video is live by the time you're watching this one, then I'll leave it right here on the screen right now for you to check out. And also if you're curious between the AirPods Pro 2 and my audiophile headphones, then I'll leave my reviews of those headphones right here so you can check out, so you can kind of know like what I'm comparing them to. But that's gonna be the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please don't forget to hit that like button down below and subscribe. And as always, have a great day, everyone. Cheers.